Hello everybody, I am Shomo Kantigiri. Welcome to my channel. Today I will discuss some of the important portions from tablet. So let's start. And if you want to learn this topic very well, then please stay with us till the end because in this video I will discuss some of the most important portions from tablet. So let's start. See, first introduction. Here tablet is what is tablet? Tablet is a solid oral dosage form. Okay, and it is generally made up of API, I mean the drug, plus excipients. Okay, the commonly used excipients are diluents, binders, disintegrating agents, glidants, lubricants, super disintegrating agents, all these. Okay, so coming to the first ingredient, diluent. Okay, what is diluent? See, diluents are also known as filler. Okay, and they are used to adjust the weight of the tablet. Okay, because only the API, only the using API you cannot make a tablet. Okay, that is why you have to need some of the other additives or excipients with no pharmacological effects. Okay, so the examples of the diluents are alpha lactose monohydrate, spread dried lactose, lactose anhydrous, mannitol, microcrystalline cellulose or MCC, and calcium phosphate. Okay, see, among these diluents, your alpha lactose monohydrate hydrous gives decoloration reaction with the presence of amines or alkaline materials. Okay, and this kind of reaction is known as Browning or Maillard reaction. Okay, and in case of MCC, I mean microcrystalline cellulose, the trade name of MCC is Evishel, and it is available in two grades. Okay, one is PH 101, which is powder form, and one is PH 102, which is granule form. Okay, so these are the brief informations about your diluent. Then coming to the next portion, what is co-processed diluent? Co-processed diluents means a diluent which is mixed up of another two diluents. Okay, another two or more diluents. See, the name of these diluents are very important because question often may comes from this section. Okay, see, Ludifresh, the trade name Ludifresh, which is composed with 93% of alpha lactose monohydrate, 3.5% of polyvinyl pyrrolidone, and 3.5% of cross povidone. Okay, and Ludifresh, the composition of Ludifresh came in 2000 JIPA 2020. Okay, in case of microcillag is composed of 75% lactose and 25% microcrystalline cellulose. Okay, and Dipac, sucrose 97% and modified dextrin 3%. Okay, sugar tab where the sucrose is 90 to 93% and invert sugar is present in 7 to 10%. Okay, all these names, trade names and their description you have to remember. Okay, and this is a very important slide. Okay, then coming to the next point, what is binder? Binder, see, binder is a very important ingredient in case of tablet preparation. And if you consider modified release tablet, okay, modified release tablet, then binders have a very important role. Okay, to modulate the release of the drug from the modified tablets. Okay, and the name of the binders generally methyl cellulose, ethyl cellulose, okay, HPMC, starch paste, PVP, PEG, tragacanth, acacia. Okay, all these are used as a binder. And see, acacia and tragacanth are the natural source binders. Okay, and what is the use of binder? Binder actually promote the cohesiveness. Okay, binders actually promotes the cohesiveness to the tablet formulation and ensure that tablet remain intact after compression. Okay, actually they actually hold the structure of the tablet. Okay, that is the use of that is the function of binder. Okay, see, here ethyl cellulose is there, and ethyl cellulose is a very common water insoluble binder. Okay, then coming to the next ingredient, disintegrant. Disintegrant means they are the agent which actually helps to disintegrate the tablet within the stomach or within the small intestine. Okay, and they do this by generally swelling. Okay, they actually generally, disintegrating agents actually generally absorb water, then burst. Okay, and then small fragments will be produced. Okay, see, starch, USP, alginic acid, avishale, agdisol, okay, explotab, carbon dioxide, all these are used as your disintegrating agents. Okay, see, one type of tablet is there known as chewable tablet. Okay, chewable tablets do not does not contain disintegrating agent in their formulation. Okay, so coming to the next ingredient, glidants. See, glidants are those substances which are used in the formulation to improve the flow property of the material. Okay, example is starch, tal, colloidal silica. Okay, they are used the they are used within the tablet formulating ingredients to improve the flow property of that particular materials. Okay, it is used to increase the flow property of the materials, tablet forming materials, when the materials are coming through the your hopper. Okay, then coming to the next point, lubricants. What are the lubricants? Lubricants are the substances or chemical agents that they also reduce the friction, but they reduce the friction between the tablet constituents and the dye wall. See, glidants also reduce the friction, but it reduces friction between the tablet forming materials. Okay, whereas lubricants reduce the friction between tablet constituents and the die wall of the tablet punching machine. Okay, and here the example is talc, liquid paraffin. Okay, all this. Then coming to the next point. Okay, super disintegrants. Okay, super disintegrants are having the greater disintegrating efficiency. Okay, and they are effective at low concentration. Okay, so example of super disintegrating agent is cross carmylose, cross povidone, sodium starch glycolate or SLS. Okay, so these are the ingredients which are used in which are used as super disintegrating agent. Okay, then colors. See, colors are a very essential ingredient in case of tablet formulation. Okay, and they actually give more aesthetic in appearance, more aesthetic appearance in case of tablets. Okay, and only FDA approved colors you can use in the formulation. And see, each different country has its own list of approved colors. Okay, and the color the actually there are different tastes like reflectance, spectrophotometry, different techniques. Okay, from which you can know the color uniformity of the applied color on the tablet surface. Okay, so this type of test, especially reflectance spectrophotometry, is used to determine the color uniformity on the tablet surface. Then coming to the sweeteners. Okay, sweeteners are also used primarily in case of the chewable tablets. Okay, and sweetness order, it is very important. Sweetness order compared to sucrose. See, lactose is 16 times more sweeter than sucrose. Okay, aspartame is 200 times more sweeter than sucrose, and saccharin is 500 times more uh, sweeter than sucrose. Then coming to the next one, preparation of the tablets. Okay, see, tablets are generally prepared by three different techniques. One is direct compression method, another is dry granulation, another is your wet granulation. See, in case of direct compression, drug is grinded first. Okay, I mean the size reduction of the drug is done, then the drug is blended with the some other adjuvants. Okay, I mean direct compression binders are there, all are there, and you have to blend with them. Okay, then after that the blended mixture go for your compression, and after that you will get your tablet. This is a very simple method. Okay, and in case of dry granulation, here first the size reduction of the drug molecules, okay, will be there. After that it will be blended with some other adjuvants. Okay, and after that this blended mixture will go to the crushing, I mean will go for crushing. Okay, crushing means also size reduction. after the mixing of the drug to the adjuvants, the size reduction of the blended mixture will be there, and after that the crushed mixture will go for screening. Screening means size separation will be there. Okay, and after that it will be mixed with lubricants. Okay, lubricants, it will be mixed with lubricants, and blending will be there. Blending means mixing will be there, and after that the mixed product will go for the compression. Okay, and after that you will get tablet, compressed tablet. Okay, one more important point, the most commonly used equipment for dry granulation is roller compactor. Okay, it's a very important information. Then coming to the wet granulation method. See, wet granulation is widely used. Here the drug molecule, the same step is common. Okay, drug molecule will go for your grinding. After that it will be added or mixed with some other adjuvant. So okay, and blending will be there. After that the blended mixture will go for agglomeration. Agglomeration means it will be mixed with some of the liquids. Okay, and the dough will be formed. After that the dough will be uh, dough will go for further size reduction. I mean pellet formation will be there. After that the pellets will go for your drying. Okay, and after drying the powder or the granules will be screened. Okay, and after screen it will be blended with lubricants, and after lubrication, after blending with lubricants, it will go for compression. Okay, and finally you will get tablets. Okay, so the major evaluation processes regarding tablets are weight variation test, disintegration test, dissolution test, and friability test. Okay, all these are the major uh, characteristics evaluation test for tablet. Okay, see, first is weight variation test. Okay, in case of weight variation test you have to take 20 tablets. Okay, and you have to weight the 20 tablets. Okay, and this is the picture of my MPharm practical notebook. Okay, so where I got the weight of 20 tablets was 3.567 gram. Okay, and after that I took one tablet from that lump. Okay, and how many tablets are there right now? 19 tablets. Okay, and I measured the weight of 19 tablets and got 3.361. Okay, and the weight of one tablet is, I subtracted the value. Okay, and got one tablet, the weight of one tablet. Okay, and you have to continue like this. See, after that you have to take one tablet, and how many tablets are there right now? Total 18 tablets are there right now. Okay, and the weight of 18 tablets was 3.105 gram. Okay, and we have to subtract it from previous value, and then you will get the weight of second tablet. Okay, this is the process by which you have to calculate the values. Okay, and after that you have to calculate the average weight of the individual tablets. Okay, and you have to calculate deviation and percentage deviation. Okay, and you have to report the lowest percentage deviation and highest percentage deviation like this. Okay, so this is the this all this I have written here. Okay, and the limitations are written here. Okay, in case of USP, if the weight of the tablet is 130 mg or less, then percentage difference allowed is 10%. Okay, and if the weight of the tablet is more than 130 mg or 130 mg to 324 mg, then 7.5% variation allowed. Okay, and in case of the tablet in case of the weight is more than 324 gram, then 324 mg, then your 5% deviations are allowed. Okay, and these are the in case of your IP. Okay, then coming to the next point, next test, content uniformity test. Okay, content uniformity test is applicable to all coated and uncoated tablets, and also it is applicable for capsules containing 50 mg or smaller sizes. Okay, I mean the tablets which is having 50 mg weight or smaller tablets than this, So those are applicable for this content uniformity test. Okay, tablet monographs with a content uniformity requirement do not have a weight variation requirement. Okay, so this is the basic conception regarding your content uniformity test. Then coming to the tablet hardness or crushing strength. See, every tablet should have some degree of hardness. Okay, because it's also have it's also it also have some kind of like your optimum hardness. Okay, because if the tablet is too hard, then it may not disintegrate in the required time period. Okay, and if it is too soft, then it will not withstand handling during the subsequent processing. Okay, so these are the problems. That is why a tablet should possess a minimum optimal hardness. Okay, optimum hardness. And the hardness nowadays are tested by your Monsanto, okay, or Stokes hardness tester, or Pfizer hardness tester. Okay, these two are commonly used to determine the hardness of a tablet. Okay, then friability. See, it's also a practical uh, it's also a practical experiment. Okay, see, you have to take generally 20 tablets for this. Okay, and you have to operate the friability machine at 25 rpm for 5 minutes. I mean, total 100 revolutions will be there. Okay, and after 4 minutes you have to operate it for 4 minutes. After 4 minutes, the weight of 20 tablets are measured. Okay, I am giving you an example. Okay, see, in case of I took 10 tablets. Okay, before, and weighted it before friability test and got 1.910 gram. I mean, the 10 tablets. Okay, before going through the friability test, the weight of the 10 tablets was 1.910 gram. Okay, and after the friability test, okay, I found the weight of 10 tablets was 1.903 gram. Okay, and the percentage of friability is equal to the initial weight minus the latest weight by initial weight into 100, and I got 0.366% friability. I mean, what is the importance of friability test? See, the friability test is also related to the hardness. Okay, related to the hardness, and the measurement is made by use of the Roche friability. This is the machine by which the friability test is done. Okay, and rather than a measure of the force required to crush the tablet, the instrument is designed to evaluate the ability of the tablet to withstand abrasion in during the packaging, handling, or shipping. Okay, see, this is the main motto of friability test. It actually evaluate the ability of the tablets to withstand the abrasion during packaging, handling, and shipping. Okay, and I have shown you how to calculate the friability test. Okay, I mean, how to calculate the friability test of a tablet. Of a tablet means of the tablets. Okay, then coming to the one of the most important tests regarding tablet is disintegration test. Okay, see, this is the disintegrating apparatus. Okay, this is the apparatus, and see here, this is the basket. Okay, basket, and here you will see these are the meshes. Okay, and this is the zoomed picture of this kind of basket. Okay, see, the red portions, I mean, the red buffles are there. Buffles, not the red uh, portions are there. Those are the soft plastic materials. Okay, and here the tablets are placed for this test. Okay, and see, during this testing, a tablet is placed in each of the 6 tubes. Total 6 tubes are there. Okay, here total 6 tubes are there, and through the use of mechanical device, the basket is raised and lowered in the immersion fluid at 29 to 32 cycles per minute. This is very, very important, because here motor is there. Okay, motor is there, and see, in case of this, okay, in this basket, some fluids are there. Okay, some fluids are there, and this basket actually move into this. Okay, move into this. Okay, move into this. Okay, and a motor is there to move down and up and down within this kind of fluid. Okay, and the cycle, I mean per minute it will go 29 to 32 times up or down, up or down. Okay, so this information is very very important. Okay, and the mesh size, the mesh size, these mesh size are 10. Okay, the mesh size is 10. Okay, and it is also very very important. And the temperature should be maintained at 37 degrees centigrade. Here this is the temperature pro, this is the temperature sensor. Okay, thermometer kind of. Okay, this actually measure or monitor the temperature of the fluid which is placed inside this. Okay, and the vessel should contain 1 liter of the fluid. I mean this vessel, the lower bottom vessel. Okay, lower bottom vessel should contain 1 liter of the fluid. Okay, see, this is the very important table. Okay, from which you can see the standard disintegration time of different tablets or different formulations. For uncoated tablet it is 15 minutes, for effervescent tablet it is 5 minutes, for dispersible tablet or soluble tablet it is 3 minutes, for sugar coated tablet or film coated tablet it is 60 minutes, for enteric coated tablet it is 3 hours, and for sublingual tablet it is 3 minutes. Okay, so let's come to the last test. Okay, which is dissolution test. See, this is a kind of dissolution apparatus. Okay, and this is a paddle type dissolution apparatus. You have to place tablet here. Okay, you have to place tablet here, and you have to switch on the machine to, and the paddle rotates. Okay, paddle rotates with a fixed rpm. Okay, it rotates with a fixed rpm, and the temperature, and this is a kind of container. Okay, where water is placed. Okay, and the temperature of this water is maintained at 37 degrees centigrade, and this is a basket, or this is a type of container where your dissolution medium is kept. Okay, and the tablet is placed here. Okay, and after specific time interval you have to collect sample from these your baskets or containers. Okay, and you have to calculate it, you have to check it through UV spectrophotometer, or you have to go for HPLC analysis. Okay, so this is the way by which dissolution testing is done. Okay, and the dissolution is the process in which a substance forms solution. Okay, and dissolution testing measures the extent and rate of solution formation from a dosage form. Okay, such as tablet, capsule, ointment, etc. Okay, and see, suitable dissolution characteristics are important properties for a satisfactory tablet. Okay, and suitable dissolution, it's a satisfactory, it's a suitable dissolution characteristics, it's an important characteristics. Okay, because see, in case of immediate release tablet, okay, 75% of the drug product should dissolve. Okay, should dissolve within 45 minutes. Okay, so the specific amount of dissolution is required in different formulation. Okay, so this is the end of our video. Hope all of you like the video. Please like, share and subscribe our channel. Thank you.